just bought all the shares.
Oh, fuck you.
What is happening, everybody? It is time for NBA Live Before Lock, and we are going out with, well, a slate. I was going to say with a bang, but that's not quite what it is. But we've got a slate for today, and that's more than we're going to have for the next week because the NBA All-Star break, it is upon us. So do us a favor here, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Eric and I breaking down tonight's three-gamer, and listen to the injury reports for today. I mean, the amount of players that have been able to fit on the injury report when there's only 3 games, it's really quite astounding. And I'll just go over the key players, not even some of the goofballs who are out for today. But Ryan Rollins is out, SGA is out, Isaiah Hartenstein's out, AJ Mitchell is out, Jalen Williams with an E is out. Denny Avdia is still questionable. That's obviously going to matter a ton for a 3-game slate. Chris Murray is out, Shaedon Sharpe is out, Matisse Thybulle is out. I'll tell you one who I'm shocked is in. I can't believe Scoot Henderson is playing. So not somebody who's out, but just like of all the players who are out, that's somebody who's in. You got Time Lord questionable. Keontae George is out. Lauri Markkanen is out. Jaren Jackson Jr., knee surgery. He's done for the entire year. So it looks like the Jazz have found a clever way to skirt any of the complaints about how they're handling the rotations. Like, guess what? He might not even be getting knee surgery. Who's going to check on it? Somebody to look for the scar on his knee to see if Triple J actually got knee surgery. But he's out for the entire season. Then in the last game on the slate, Cooper Flagg is out. Caleb Martin is doubtful. Ryan Nembhard is doubtful. DeAndre Ayton is out. Luka Doncic is out. How's that for injury reports for a 3-game slate?
I think 18 is what you had at the end of it there. But yeah, Jaren Jackson Jr. coming out in Joker makeup. I want to see how I got these scars, or not scars for sure. But it's a tumor, Greg. You have to be sensitive to it. It's not actually. I looked up a lot of that stuff, and then people were going nuts about people talking about it being. They're tanking. Like, we're very, very aware that Utah is tanking. Also, Lauri Markkanen and Jaren Jackson Jr. look fantastic on the floor together. I'm not sure if you ran any on-off court numbers with the two of them in it. Their offensive rating is out of control together so far. They've played like Orlando. They've played a couple of other teams that, like, again, Orlando's slower pace, whatever, but their offensive rating together is outrageous. It's going to be fun to watch next year, but you know what looked really good next to them? This Peterson character from Kentucky, or from Kansas. One of these other 5 guys that could be like #1 picks on another year, like especially the Zachary Risache year. But I'm very much looking forward to the draft. I'm looking forward to everything else here, but I'm not looking forward to this 3-game slate. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think the most important thing to talk about here is what exactly are you going to do to take into account the Denny Avdia situation? Because obviously if he's out, that matters a shit ton. It's only a 3-game slate. Are you trying to do anything to backload lineups? Are you just going to assume Avdia is in, assume Avdia is out? What are you doing with that scenario?
So it's weird because we have an hour and a half gap between Milwaukee, OKC. Yeah. And there's no doubt that with SGA, AJ Mitchell, Brandon Carlson, Jalen Williams with a ALEN, and Isaiah Hartenstein, with all those guys out, we're going to play some OKC characters, but like 2/3 of our games come up after that one. And even with Ryan Rollins out, even with some of the ownership that we're looking at coming into Kevin Porter Jr., we're going to just kind of play Kevin Porter Jr. with the Sims right now. We're going to play a lot of backloaded lineups with LeBron James, Austin Reaves, but like, there's still a lot of lineup spots that aren't those 3. And so, like, I'm not freaking out about it too much. I don't think it's going to be that hard to account for after the fact, unless you see something in this first game that's just like Hulk slam, windmill slam, that isn't Chet Holmgren playing by himself on an island, or any of these mismatch of values. But like, nobody in my top, 20 is OKC other than Chet Holmgren. So like, I don't really see a reason to try to like freak out too much about it.
So here's the ownership that we have going here. And I do think that you should be playing Jalen Williams with a Y, a decent amount. But here's something that makes it not all that concerning for me for the slate. We're getting a lot of Lakers. Austin Reaves is going to show up in lineups. LeBron James is going to show up in lineups. And then you've also got Marvin Bagley going to show up in lineups, Najee Marshall. So to me, because of how much value, this would be way more of a headache if Luka was in. But because he's not, and we have all this value, and also Cooper Flagg being out in the last game, I'm going to have a lot of value plays, and I'm going to have pay-up options in Austin Reaves and LeBron James that show up in lineups. So I'm not doing anything to avoid the first game on the slate. Like I think there are definitely guys like Jalen Williams I mentioned before that I want to have in lineups, but I just have enough exposure naturally to the last game that whatever happens with Denny Avdia, I think that it'll be no real big issue to make some changes.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So really, seems like there's going to be 3 OKC guys in the optimal. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I'm looking at like guys who are expensive that like affect the rest of your lineups. Chet Holmgren's the only guy on OKC who's expensive that will affect the rest of my lineups because it affects how much Austin Reaves, LeBron James I'm playing. Like it affects Donovan Clingan, who I think is a very good option. Like what I'm saying is that the value pieces from OKC are almost irrelevant because I'm not going to play 5 of them in a lineup. So I'm going to be able to rotate around a lot of other pieces. I'm going to be able to rotate around a lot of other value later. So whether Denny Avdia is in or out, obviously it's a huge lynch point of the entire slate, but it's not going to matter that much to what I'm building today because we don't really need to factor it in all that much.
So one other question that I have for you here for tonight is, and we'll get more into the individual players here in a second, but looking at the chalk, obviously we've got a bunch of ownership here going to Austin Reaves, project for just under 70% ownership. How many minutes do you think he could play?
Does he start or not? I talked a little bit on NBA Lindy's last night. I think 30 is definitely in the range of outcomes now. I mean, he played 29 last time out. 30 is definitely on the table. We have him in for 28. I think that's the right way to project him. But if he played 30 and it was a competitive spot against Dallas, and it looks better as a game environment, if Najee Marshall had been out, if this had looked extra puntish, where it's not just flag out, but like Najee Marshall being your other facilitator there out, it would have been an issue. But we've got a pretty competitive game environment to some extent. I don't really have any issue whatsoever projecting him for 30 minutes if that's kind of where you're moving the slider to. But I think 28 is the right number just because it brings into account some of those left tail outcomes where it's a massive blowout. He gets hurt, yada, yada, yada. So 28 minutes is definitely the appropriate projection, but 30 is on the table, Greg.
And we did get an ownership update just a few minutes into the show. So I'm rerunning everything in the Sims for myself just to see what my exposures look like given the most recent updates. And then I kicked that off for us. We did another projections update that came in about 2 seconds ago. So let's look at the ownership right now. We'll go over the chalkiest options. And there are 4 players on DraftKings projected for north of 50% ownership. I guess we'll group Aaron Wiggins in with these guys too, because he's also about equally as popular. So these are all the most popular plays on DraftKings. We'll hit on FanDuel in a second as well. LeBron's 84% owned. Jalen Williams with a Y, 70% owned. Jalen Williams with the knee. He's out for it today. You got Austin Reaves, 65% owned. So no longer the second most popular player on the slate. Najee Marshall, 56% owned. Then you got Aaron Wiggins, 47% owned. Of all of these chalk pieces, Eric, who is one, if any, that you think is overowned by the field?
Overowned. I would say, so just out of the top 3 or out of how many did you list?
5. Off? So LeBron, Jalen Williams, Austin Reaves, Najee
Marshall. Without a doubt, it's Najee Marshall, just because of what this rotation can look like today. Like he's projected for the most minutes everywhere of anybody from Dallas, but you still have Brandon Williams. You still have Klay Thompson. You have Chris Middleton now that exists here. You've got a lot of ways where this could get a little bit wonky. And like, I would say this as well. Like you look at raw fantasy points, LeBron, Austin Reaves. You look at value, Jalen Williams, Aaron Wiggins, Najee Marshall, 6K, shooting guard, small forward. It's really good eligibility. And I'm not just saying this because there's a negative 12.37% leverage number next to his name, but I do think that you look at the fantasy point per minute rates of LeBron and Austin Reaves, just take them off the table. They're not overowned where they're at right now. I absolutely am playing them because they could just torch you before the slate even starts. And assuming that Jalen with a Y Williams starts, he's the best piece of value that we had. Period. I'm a stand for this guy. I think at Arkansas, whether, early on in his NBA career, like if you were on any other NBA team other than OKC that has a million of these dudes, I mean, look at what Jang did yesterday and what he could be doing going forward. They've got a million good players and he's just another one of them. And Wiggins kind of falls into that category here with Jalen with an ALEN out for today. I just think Najee Marshall, it's not guaranteed that he's going to get massive usage or anything else there. He's the worst fantasy producer of everybody. So even though he's 2 minutes higher than, like the likes are 3 minutes and change higher than Aaron Wiggins, he's still the guy that I think is easiest to get away from.
I tend to agree with you here. Najee Marshall at 6K taking on the Lakers. We've got a lot of guys who are, about comparably projected to him, or a handful of guys at least who are kind of comparably projected to him that are just pulling a lot less ownership. And then also just of all of the pay up guys, if we're just breaking it down by process of elimination, all the guys out for OKC is going to make Aaron Wiggins look better. I agree with you that Jalen Williams is a top value play on the slate. If I had to make a case for one other guy, it would probably be Austin Reaves, just because there is some downside. Like if Austin Reaves is to play 25 minutes today, which I don't think is an impossibility, then all of a sudden it's, Austin Reaves really doesn't look all that good for today. So I'll say Najee Marshall, who has by far the most negative boom bust score of all the guys here, 43% optimal with a 56% ownership here. But my second option would be Reaves, just because of the possibility that he could play less minutes. In the same way he could possibly play more minutes. But the reason that I would take it more into consideration to be underweight to the field as opposed to overweight, Eric, is because he is so popular. If there was uncertainty with Austin Reaves playing time, but he was 20% owned on the 3-game slate, then I'd say, I want to be overweight to the field to him. I'm running everything through the Sims right now, and I am hoping to come in a little bit underweight to the field to Reaves.
Interesting. I'm not at the moment, but I see what you're saying. But we already have him projected coming off the bench. Mm-hmm. What odds would you have of him starting? I would set the odds of him starting at I give him a 35% chance to still start. And if he does, that's going to make me feel much better about the minutes. We all know it's going to happen eventually. We all know at some point, Austin Reaves is your starting shooting guard for this basketball team. But does that happen today? Is it even relevant to, if he's going to be on a minutes cap anyway? No, it really doesn't matter all that much. But if they start him, that gives him, I would say I'd move the slider up to 30 then as the projection, and 32 becomes the upside for it. 29 minutes last time, 29 minutes and change. And I'm with you. I think Austin Reaves is amongst the next 4 on the top 5, probably number 4 for me. But that's purely because he's somebody that's coming off the bench right now and is still limited in our eyes. So yeah, Austin Reaves, 7,700. He's still a 1.5 DraftKings points per minute guy in this spot. It's ridiculous to look at that coming off the bench, but yeah, totally makes sense.
Now, here's the other side of the question. We've got all this chalk on DraftKings. Are any of these guys, despite being this popular, still under-owned to you? Do you think they should be pulling more ownership than they are? Because it's a yes for me on one of these guys.
Oh, yeah. You should be playing 100% Jalen Williams. I am the Jalen Williams stan of the universe. I will always be the Jalen Williams stan of the universe. Assuming that he starts, there is not a planet where I don't have 100% of him on this slate at 4,300.
I don't have 100%, but I've got 80% of him right now, which is overweight to the field. He's my most rostered player. So I think that he looks, really good for today. I guess technically I come in a little bit underweight to field to LeBron, but it's just because we haven't projected for 85% ownership. And actually I'm going back and rerunning everything through the contest generator. And I'm actually giving a down arrow to LeBron in the contest generator. I don't think he's actually going to be 85%. I think he's going to be very popular. I don't think he's going to be 85% though.
I don't either, but also we have Kevin Porter Jr. playing without Rollins again. We saw, triple double. I think people factor that kind of shit in. We've got Donovan Clingan at 7,200, who I'm kind of a stand for as a human being in the world. I've always been the biggest Donovan Clingan guy. I've got north of 50% of him. I'm playing 20 lineups today. So, I guess I'm playing 21 because I've got a main lineup and then I'm playing 20 max. But I really don't think I'm probably going to go crazy with Kevin Porter Jr. 50% right now is where I'm at. I'm only 10% over the field. But what I'm getting at is yesterday, I played tons of Kevin Porter Jr. The Sims were dead on with that one and could not have looked better. You don't have Ryan Rollins out there again, but Kevin Porter Jr., then Donovan Clingan, then Austin Reaves, then LeBron James. You can fit the 4 of them in lineups, but I really don't like what's coming along with them, not named Jalen Williams. So it's not free to play those guys. We have Collier to talk about. Utah on a back-to-back, playing without a lot of their pieces. Obviously, Jaren Jackson Jr., Lauri Markkanen being the main two. And we'll get into the Kyle Filipowski thing. This Yusuf Nurkic thing is also super wild to me, where they might have to just roll him out here, absent Kevin Love, who also is currently not on the injury report. I don't understand anything with Utah, and I think that's kind of, for me, where a lot of my decision points will be made. Who the hell ends up in that starting lineup for Utah?
By the way, I'm trying to. Can you change the? We made an error before we started. Can you change the scene in the right hand side? Can you change it to NBA instead of the NFL one? You know what I mean? It won't let me change it.
Yeah, I can do that. I got it right there.
Let me see if it lets you. Oh, it let you do it. Awesome. So
yeah, well,
I do
a
question. So I wanted to ask you. I don't know why it wouldn't let me do it. Why is it? I have a theory. What is the like about Donovan Clingan tonight?
You have a theory? What did I do? I love Donovan Clingan so much. Donovan Clingan.
You said just like as a person?
When you don't have Robert Williams out there, have you seen the minutes for Donovan Clingan in games without Robert Williams? Here's how I know that I just do
Robert Williams isn't out, by the way.
I know he's questionable, but I'm just saying. Gotcha. I'm assuming that he's going to get ruled out later.
What is it you like about Donovan Clingan as a human, you said, though?
Oh, I love him as a human being, too. Tall, strong, Connecticut Husky.
Going to financially recover from this.
I mean, we couldn't go into the All-Star break and just not have that going. So it was also that was 2 minutes in the making of me trying to set up the question and then realizing that we didn't have the package there because we had the wrong thing selected in StreamYard there. It was the most important part of the entire show. I had to find a way to shoehorn that in. Eric, you've already professed your love here for Donovan Clingan. Is he the exotic player of the night too? There's a lot of them today.
Yeah, Austin Reaves. I mean, you're the worst. I miss Josh. I never thought I'd ever say that in my entire life. I miss Josh. Here we are. I've been doing shows with Josh for 3 days. You've been talking props with the people. You've been letting them know what's up. And now you come back, you throw me under the bus immediately. What are we in our morning meeting? Like, come on. Oh, Eric, can you talk to me about this? It's like 9 a.m. my time. Everybody's in a good mood because it's noon their time. It's 9 a.m. my time.
I'll tell you who's in a good mood. Everybody in chat who just saw our highlight package play there, and now they get to hear about the exotic players of the night here. And by the way, I do like Donovan Clingan quite a bit for today, but I've got another one. All these guys are out for OKC, and Chet Holmgren is 17% owned.
Yeah, I love Chet.
See, what is the most recent number on Chet? 15% owned is Chet Holmgren. I love getting overweight to Chet.
I love him.
He's a little bit overpriced, but it's a 3-game slate. And I know that the price point is what's kind of keeping people away here. But with all these guys out, is it that crazy that he outscores? LeBron is 5x the ownership almost of Chet. I don't think LeBron outscores him 5-1 with all the guys who are out for OKC today. So I think Chet is a really strong contrarian option, Eric, and I'm going with him for the exotic player of the night.
No, it might be a contrast from Greg, but man, Eric looks yellow, maybe scurvy. No, I did have a Zyn. I had a Zyn, and it made my stomach feel a little upset. So I'm feeling a little bit like not myself at the moment. I don't have it in right now. I'm a professional, but I did have one just after lunch, and my wife is like, "Why do you look like you're about to vomit?" I'm like, "I don't know, because Jordan Klein created a monster. See, nobody wants to see Marshall anymore. They want Shady. I'm chopped liver."
Well, at least you're cool now. Zins can't make you as cool as cigarettes, though, right?
Smoking them cigarettes. Do you remember that kid? What happened to him? I like to. It's fun to do bad things with your friends.
Oh yeah, it's fun to do bad things, kid. He's one of the best memes ever.
He might be my favorite. Oh, it's fun to do bad things. He like stole his grandma's car. That's the greatest story ever. He's like 7. Anyway.
I mean, the other thing too is how weak is your constitution that you look like you're going to throw up from a single Zin. Just one. That's all it takes.
I'm a bitch. Okay, sorry. I apologize to everybody involved. In case you didn't know, chat. No, it's just one of those things. So it's been a while. But I was in Arizona, and so whenever I'm in Arizona, I always buy all the flavored ones because that's the only place you can get them. And I've been going back and forth to Arizona like almost every weekend forever. And I can't imagine a planet where you don't get flavored Zins, and like
Saturn.
California became that. Like, it's absurd. You can't buy them. You can't get them.
Uranus.
I miss Josh so much. This is incredible. Josh would be, well, I guess it's a 3-game slate. Josh would probably be talking about dysentery by now too, and the Oregon Trail, but no, it's fine. Life is good. Life is great. I have my flavored Zins back in my life.
Yeah, Josh, it is Josh's birthday, by the way. And obviously then it's going to be NBA All-Star break time. So let's look at the top projected owned players on the FanDuel side of things, Eric. And here's what we got for the highest owned players over on FanDuel. LeBron, 89% owned. Also, I don't think he's going to be very popular. 89% is a massively high number. I don't think he's going to get to be quite that popular.
No.
Austin Reaves, 65% owned. Here's a really big difference. So I just talked about how much I like Chet at low ownership on DraftKings. That is not the case on FanDuel. On FanDuel, he is 62% owned. So goes to show the difference that you could have between sites here. And then you've got 56% ownership to Isaiah Collier, Jalen Williams, 52% owned, Cason Wallace, 50% owned. This is as different as ownerships will ever be across the two sites. I mean, you got a straight up contrarian guy in Chet Holmgren as the third most popular player over on FanDuel. Is there anything that stands out to you as problematic ownership on the FanDuel side of things?
Man, no problem with it. Look at the position. I mean, it's just disturbing. Where's the next small forward? Ace Bailey? Drinking Baileys from a shoe? We're just going to do all the YouTube.
Well, which
so LeBron James looks ridiculous. LeBron James looks ridiculous. Austin Reaves looks ridiculous. Like, they both look ridiculous. You can play them both at small forward, and then it becomes Jeremy Grant, Denny Avdia. Like, I have no problem with the ownership coming in on them, considering how many more raw fantasy points they're projected for at the position. I will bring this up. Denny Avdia on FanDuel specifically could be very, very, very low owned. He's 9,800 over there. 9,800. I would be shocked to see him come in with like 23% ownership. He is such a freaking interesting play over there. If he ends up playing on this back-to-back, and again, they're big favorites still, 7-point favorites. They're taking on the Utah G League team, and they are coming off of a loss to Minnesota yesterday where Denny Avdia didn't have to get pushed a crazy amount. Nobody on Portland really got pushed a crazy amount because it just got weird. It was weird to see like Tamani Kamara close out that game, basically. Like, he played way later into that game than I was expecting, but like, Denny only played 27 minutes yesterday. I think there's a world where they just let Denny Avdia rip, even on a back-to-back here. And I guess it's just me trying to find like a contrarian piece of spend up value, or not spend up value. That's redundant, but looking for a spend up who's not LeBron and Austin Reaves in some lineups. I will say I probably have more Denny Avdia and just like Portland interest than it seems like the field does on this entire slate.
Yeah, so the thing that stands out most about Denny with the questionable tag is on a 3-game slate. You know, how many people are just going to build their lineups, say, Denny's questionable, don't want to play him. You know, we bring this up with sometimes some of the reasons that players' actual ownership could be different than their projected ownership, and this would be a prime reason. It's a 3-game slate. I think there's going to just be a ton of people who build without Denny, don't give a shit if he's in or out. Yep. They find out he's in. It's like, cool, doesn't matter to me. I already didn't play him, and now he's in. So I agree with you. I think for those reasons, Denny's going to be lower owned than 22%. Obviously, we just have to make sure that he's going to be in for it today. But I think it's pretty cool. I think it's a good call.
Seems pretty important. But wanted to bring it up on FanDuel specifically because at 9,800, it becomes somewhat cost prohibitive. At 9K on DraftKings, even though, it's only rostering 8 guys and whatever else, it's still, I think, easier for me to find ways to fit him in. So I'm building out one lineup on FanDuel. I'm probably going to have Danny Avdia in it and just kind of have as a little bit of a placeholder here and get away from one of James or Reaves. Probably going to be Reaves when it's all said and done.
Ankle breaker. No, I thought you had a DFS question. I don't like that super chat. That's not nice. Mr. Hill, Delaware, is Jared McCain bad value for today? So Jared McCain, who is
holy shit! I just saw the super chat.
Yeah, way out of pocket, ankle breaker. Way out of pocket.
Oh man, you got some balls on you for that one, or you got a ball on you for that one. Whoo!
So Mr. Hill Delaware wants to know, is Jared McCain bad value? I get it. He looked good in his first game of Loki. He had like 8 points in 1 minute or something like that. It might even been more. I'm trying to remember what the stat line was, but he had like some absurd heater checking into the game. I have a couple of lineups with Jared. I wouldn't call him like unplayable value, but he's definitely not one of the top value options on the slate. All right, so Eric's reserving Jared McCain for his nuke of the night because he's very secretive and mums the word over there about that question. And he won't talk about his nukes of the nights at all until the animation plays. So maybe he's pump faking me, but let's just do it now. All right, I'm interested to see which direction Eric goes in here, because is his nuke of the night Jared McCain? Did he just pump fake all of us and he's going to go in a totally different direction, which, if the case, very rude because he just straight up refused to answer that super chat there. I need to know now, Eric, who is your nuke of the night?
Guys, look at the slate that we have before us. You want to play Donovan Clingan? You want to play Kevin Porter Jr.? You want to play LeBron James? You want to play Austin Reaves? You want to play Chet Holmgren? There's only one way to do that. It's to find something down in the doldrums that you want to roster, that you need to roster. And here's the thing. His shooting was awful to start off this season. He got sent out on a rail by one guy and one guy only, Daryl Morey. And guess what? I think everybody in the city of Philadelphia gave him a pass because they knew what they saw his rookie season. What they saw was one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA until injury. What they saw was somebody that Greg Ehrenberg himself said in a tweet back on December 12th of 2024 is Jared McCain the rookie of the year this season. I think he's got the potential. That is a quote from Greg Ehrenberg DFS over on X. Confirm or deny, Greg?
I did say that, and I do think he would have won Rookie of the Year last year had he not gotten hurt, because the last year rookie class was dog shit.
He is now surrounded by a warm, comfortable environment full of TikTokers and basketball savants, neither one of them being exclusive of the other. Jared McCain has arrived in the great city of Oklahoma City, and Jared McCain, up from the ashes shall rise like a phoenix. Jared McCain, your nuke of the night.
Well, Eric sold that like he was a pro wrestler, so I could definitely get behind that. And like, he's not an important option for me on the slate. I'm just going to reiterate what I said before.
I have 40% of him. He has 6%. I have 40% of him. I'm also playing the $4, so like I'm just letting it rip and having fun.
People also astutely pointing out that ankle break ankle break. I don't know if you're not familiar with the male anatomy. He always only had one ball sack. That doesn't, like, I don't know. Now I'm concerned. How many ball sacks does ankle break have? Does he just grow them everywhere? Just different parts of his body? There's only one sack.
Patrick Stewart doesn't know. That's a joke from 2 days ago. But anyway, yeah, my God. Jared McCain, give me that, all you got. And then also toe pitch. We're all going to be cheering for that kid tonight. I hope he crushes tonight, but I hope he puts up like 14 fantasy points. This is irrelevant to the slate because I'm not going to be playing it, but I hope you all enjoyed that. I have been waiting to roster Jared McCain. I've rostered 0 Jared McCain this entire year. I'm rostering 40% Jared McCain today.
Well, guess what? Miles Turner's got ruled out for no reason. So we're going to have to talk about
what
that in a second here. Yeah, it wasn't even
no, because now I don't need. Now we're going to get Jericho Sims and some other bullshit. Like, what is going on? No, because now I might not get the roster 40% Jared McCain. No.
Hey, Miles Turner's out. So we're going to have to talk about the implications of that in a hot second here. But I got to give out my nuke of the night first here, Eric. And I'm going to go with somebody who the field is not getting to very much of. That's going to be Vince Williams Jr., who I have no clue what the hell his role is going to be like for the Utah Jazz.
I love that shout.
Like, who knows? Who knows? It could be anything. But one thing that we always saw with him in Memphis, he's a really good fantasy producer. The issue has always just been, what is his playing time going to look like? Look at our projections, 1.11 fantasy points per minute. Now, for all I know, he might just play 20 to 22 minutes again for the Utah Jazz, but this team is doing all kinds of weird things with their rotations. In the event that we end up getting like 28 minutes out of Vince Williams, I think any amount of minutes is live for pretty much anybody on this team. If you get extended minutes out of Vince Williams, maybe they want to get a look at him to see, is he somebody who could be part of the rotation going forward? I think a $4,100 Vince Williams is a really good fantasy producer. There's such a clear path to having upside to me.
I get a little worried because of one thing and one thing only. Isaiah Collier only played 27 minutes last night. I think the relationship between these two is kind of interesting because, like, legitimately, Utah had 0 people who could handle a basketball. We talked about that the day after the 48-minute thing where it was like, well, actually, no. Josh and I talked about it the day it happened. I was like, who the hell else is going to handle the basketball for Isaiah Collier? I jammed Isaiah Collier. He played 48 minutes. And then the next slate, we made the line like plus 300. I think you and I talked about it in the after show where it was like, Isaiah Collier, he's got to play 48 minutes. Like, it is what it is. With Vince Williams there, now it's not a requirement. He is the one other ball handling guard that could potentially be out there at any point in time when Isaiah Collier is not on the floor. But there's so many lineup constructions where the two of them can share the floor today. And 27 minutes for Isaiah Collier is going to change. He's going to play a lot more than 27 minutes. How many do we have Collier in for right now? 35 at the moment. And like, this is a game where they are dogs and they don't care about Isaiah Collier really. Like Isaiah Collier, if you go back to, I think it was 2023, he was the Naismith Player of the Year in college basketball. I know he was all the rage at USC. I went to a bunch of games, but like Isaiah Collier is irrelevant to Utah's future in any way, shape, or form. They don't give a shit about him. You don't treat somebody in the NBA in this modern age with back-to-back 48-minute performances unless you don't care about them. Like, that's all it means to me. I think Vince Williams allows for them to be less, like, hey, we have to have Collier out here for whatever reason, because literally we're going to look like a AAU pickup basketball team trying to play NBA basketball in the event that he's not out there. But like, I'm so with you. I think this is such a good play. He's got great positive leverage. I've been circling him. Him and Jared McCain, I think, make a lot of those Chet Holmgren, Donovan Clingan, LeBron James lineups work. But now we just got this irrelevant news, and I'm talking a lot here, mainly because I want to know who you think starts. I think Jericho Sims just became a ridiculous play today.
Yeah, I do not. Jericho Sims is just so bad as a fantasy producer. What do we even projected for 0.6?
He played 37 minutes yesterday. I think he plays, I mean, that was 5 minutes of overtime inflating it, but like, I think he could play crazy minutes tonight. I think like we put him in for 28 there. That number could go up, and it would not shock me.
So realistically, let's say he's projected for Also, I don't think he has to start. I think they could start Bobby Portis if they want to. But if he's projected for 35 minutes, that would give him a projection of about 24 fantasy points for us, which would not make him look very good.
It's just such a ridiculous situation when it's like Kevin Porter Jr. and black hole Cam Thomas off the bench. And
well, this is going to change some stuff.
Oh my God.
OKC starting lineup: Cason Wallace, Isaiah Joe, Lou Dort, Kenrich Williams, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams with a Y coming off the bench, and Isaiah Joe, who's been on a heater lately. He is knocking down everything. He's back in the starting lineup. Eric, we've got no Jalen Williams starting. Neither of them. I mean, obviously one of them.
Oh my God, Ousmane Dieng starting. Daddy said, come and get it. Ousmane Dieng, best play of the slate. Okay, Jared McCain is not the Nuke anymore. You can't have all this value, and now Ousmane Dieng's the best piece of value on the slate. Good times. Good times.
Let's see. So we have Dieng in for, and here's what's going to be different. So Dieng projects marginally better than Jericho
40K.
Sims on a points per minute, but he's 3K compared to Jericho Sims being $4,200. We'll see what happens when our projections update here in a couple minutes. This is a massive overlook. I mean, just a massive overall to the slate. So when projections update, we'll look at the ownership and then also look at the props tool to see what ends up projecting well as a result. But the entire slate, everything that we talked about to this point is like kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, I mean, everything. We could have just started the show now. Hey, Greg, how are you doing today? I missed you. Haven't done a show with you in a while, rather than, hey, this guy's got one ball. Hey, you piece of shit. Here's the white of the night. Here you go. Like we did 37 minutes of kerfuffery to get to this point where it actually matters. So shout out the projections team. Shout out Rich, who did a great job yesterday, by the way. I still made money, and I had 24% of that Raynaud moron. So yeah, we're looking at Jericho Sims being the dude. This game is just a joke now. And also, positionally, this is a nightmare. Like, I don't know what we're going to project Kenrich Williams for. It can't be that much. Like, how many minutes do you think Kenrich Williams plays? Because you have Wiggins, you have Williams, you got, I'm saying Jalen, Aylin. I can't spell. But I guess Jalen Williams played 28 minutes yesterday. They probably just want to limit his minutes. That's what it tells me, is that they don't want him to play like a full bore, massive amount of minutes here. And so Kenrich Williams, who played 23 yesterday and isn't coming off of an injury, played 35 on the fourth. I think they just think Kenrich Williams can play more minutes, and kind of makes me think Kenrich Williams, like, what do you even put his minutes at?
Yeah, so Kenrich Williams, I mean, we've seen, we've definitely seen starts out of him this year. Let's see. Kenrich Williams in starts this year. What have we gotten for minutes? So
also,
Kenrich
just to be
Williams,
clear, we're talking about Aylin not starting, by the way. JLEN, we already knew was going to be out. He got dinged up yesterday, hamstring injury, went to the locker room, and that was not a lie.
About a week ago, Kenrich Williams started and played 35 minutes.
35, yep.
I think probably somewhere in the same range.
Well, then holy shit, is he going to look massively insane? Because like he's 3,900 and power forward has, I mean, we just got done talking about LeBron James being 89% owned. Now we got Jericho Sims, we got Ousmane Dieng, who's the best player of the slate at value, and we've got Kyle Filipowski, who could play infinity minutes. We've got Chet Holmgren, who is your contrarian option we were looking at. We have Denny Avdia. Power forward, you best get right, because you are either spending up, you're spending down. And it's just like, this is the entire slate is power forward. What are you going to do at power forward?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned before, I really like, I mean, so still, obviously, LeBron's as popular as he is, even if I don't think he's going to be quite the mid 80% ownership. He's still going to be very popular for good reason. I think Chet looks really good as a contrarian option. There are a lot of power forwards to be liking for today. As far as Jalen Williams with a Y goes, even though he's coming off the bench, he's going to be, before at the top of the show, we were talking about, like, do we want him to be in 100% of lineups or not? Mm-hmm. He's still a top value option on the slate. He's just not somebody I think you'd even consider. for 100% of lineups anymore at this point. You still got Aaron Wiggins as a potential option as well for OKC. And I think that he's somebody who, once again, even though he's coming off the bench, still makes some sense. Ousmane Dieng has a ton of value to him at min price. Like all those guys will just be in a bunch of lineups for me.
So I think the guy who takes the biggest hit, and I just reran everything on my end, Donovan Clingan is like in nothing of mine anymore. I'm playing so many power forward / center guys in the center spot. It's ridiculous. I don't see a planet where I can really go to Clingan, Nurkic. Your center spot needs to be a power forward now. Like that's really what this comes down to. For me personally, if you're playing one lineup and you're watching this show, if you're playing 20 max and you're, trying to figure out what it is, I think Donovan Clingan is the sacrificial lamb. I'm not going to play a lot of Donovan Clingan, and that's my boy. I felt pretty comfortable playing a lot of him here, but I like Filipowski. I like the idea of Filipowski without Nurkic in the event that Nurkic just doesn't play. We'll see that starting lineup. The Utah starting lineup is going to dictate a lot of what I do, but Dieng, Kenrich Williams, I want to play them, and I'm more than happy to give up the center spot as a result, and then I'll figure out the Utah-Portland situation, but like, I can't imagine there's a world where I even get to like 10-15% of Donovan Clingan now.
It's that Yobi Trice, I can't take McCain out after Eric's speech about him, so he's just
now.
Yeah, he's just sticking with. He's just sticking with
them.
There.
I'm literally rerunning. I think I got 10% McCain my last run in my top 20. So I apologize to Jared McCain and his family. He's a lovely person. I don't think I've ever seen him not smile, which is a little bit annoying. But like Jared McCain, it was more of a bit than it was like anything else. But I was planning on jamming McCain because I just didn't love some of the 4K pieces. Now we got this 3K thing. We've got Kenrich Williams sub 4K. They just look so much better than what McCain does, and just changes the slate. Kevin Porter Jr. I'm getting to way more of now.
Yeah, I'll have to rerun things here in a sec. Still waiting for a projections update to come through and for Miles Turner to be taken out. Let's see if we have the OKC starting lineup updated, and we not quite yet. Should be coming up soon, the projections update here. But in the interim, let's go ahead and start answering some of the super chats that we have here. And we will see here from ARL, DK single entry must plays. Thanks, guys. Eric, who are you going to consider the must plays for DK single entry?
Dieng. I'm going to go Dieng. I'm going to go Kenrich Williams. I'm going to go LeBron James. God, I really like the idea of Denny Avdia in single entry now too. He's going to be so low owned at power forward. I can't possibly throw him out there in a single entry though. But he might just be like 3%, 4% in something like the $40 or the $100. Like, I'll say this: Dieng, probably Kenrich Williams, but like on the outside looking in, and LeBron James. Those are the three.
Okay. All right.
All power forwards.
Boy, things have changed so dramatically. I'm still going to go with, I agree with like pretty much all you guys. For myself, this isn't going to be for like everybody, but I would still say Chet as a contrarian option for myself too, if you want to go a little bit different here.
Power forward.
KG wants to know FanDuel best plays by position. So I'll pull up FanDuel here and we'll go through some of the positions and see who it is that stands out the most at each position for FanDuel. Who do you like the most at point guard on FanDuel, Eric?
I just got done running all my DK stuff, so I will jump over to point guard is going to be Kevin Porter Jr. on FanDuel.
Okay. I will also say Kevin Porter Jr. on FanDuel. At shooting guard, who do you like at shooting guard, Eric?
So not KPJ, Austin Reaves, a little bit better there.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Austin Reaves as well. Shooting guard just really sucks over on FanDuel. Like Cason Wallace at $5,200 is 56% owned. Yeah, I'm going to go with Reaves there. Although actually kind of curious, where do we have? Actually, I'm going to change this up. I know we're still waiting for an update here. I'll say Isaiah Joe at 15% ownership as a little bit of a different option as well.
Who's going to stop Chet tonight? Mark Dagnall. That's about it. That's the only person who can guard Chet tonight is Mark Dagnall. Like, that's it.
Small forward, hard to not go LeBron here.
LeBron.
Power forward, I'm going to go with Chet. And then finally at center on FanDuel, what do you want to do at the center position?
It is so disturbing. It's so ridiculous. Hang on, let me see quick. Yeah. Kyle Filipowski.
All right. Let's check out the projections now on the Milwaukee Bucks and see what this is looking like now, because we've got everything updated for Milwaukee. And here's what is standing out for Milwaukee now as far as value goes. We now have Ousmane Dieng projected for 20.21 fantasy points at 3K. Cam Thomas up to 27.5 fantasy points at $4,600. I'll tell you something right now. I will guarantee it. Cam Thomas is going to be way more popular than we're projecting him for. Way more popular.
I was going to bring him up the whole time. I think he's going to be 30% coming off of yesterday. I'm with you.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be the case with Cam Thomas. And I'm seeing people are asking about him in the chat as well. A couple of things. I think Cam Thomas sucks as a real life player. He scores a lot at very low efficiency. He's a poor defender, appears to have a shitty attitude. For DFS, I like playing Cam Thomas. I'm just a little concerned about what his ownership is actually going to end up being. And then as far as some of the other guys here, KPJ projecting pretty well. Jericho Sims does not project well for us. I talked about this before. We have him as a 0.7 fantasy point per minute guy. So we've got him in for 28 minutes. I know Eric said before that he thinks we could see upwards of 35 minutes for Jericho Sims. Even in those minutes, though, he still wouldn't project all that well relative to other options. I'm not going to be high on Jericho Sims for today. But anything else that stands out to you about the Milwaukee Bucks?
No, so maybe I didn't phrase that correctly. I just knew he was going to play a boatload of minutes, Jericho Sims. It's just a question of what he does in those minutes. You can't score fantasy points if you're not on the floor, and you can always outperform huge to your right tail. It's hard when you're a 0.7 guy to like do worse than the 0.5s of the world. Like, you're still going to find ways to be all right in court time. But like, I was just constantly thinking about it in relation to like an Ousmane Dieng, to Bobby Portis, if he were to get the start. But they obviously want to limit Bobby Portis right now for whatever reason and see what they've got with some of these younger pieces for Giannis. But weird, because Bobby Portis is having like a revolutionary year from three, whatever. That's neither here nor there. Yeah, I don't like Jericho Sims either. So I don't really know what else to bring up.
Fair enough. Let's see what else we've got for super chats here. Now that we've got a bunch of updates here, we went over that one. All right, here we go. Wiggins or Sensabaugh for you tonight, Eric? This is coming from ALS Jets.
Sensabaugh.
I'll also go Sensabaugh now that Wiggins is coming off the bench.
Same.
Let's see that one. Here's another 1v1. Yobi Trice, he's stuck between Ace Bailey and Najee Marshall.
Najee Marshall for me now. I'm playing Najee Marshall in single lineup. It's hilarious. We talked about Najee Marshall. I trashed on him being the highest owned dude. Now I'm just landing on like a 6K small forward. And like that's the way that the optimal kind of plays out and how I think it should go. And Najee Marshall goes from being somebody that I'm like, oh, he's overowned, I can't play that much of him, to now it's like, well, I'll just go to small forward at 6K because that's what's left over.
I will also go with Najee Marshall. And let's see what we've got for our next question. We answered that one before. We've got Maven Mara. Hey, bro, what's the data source for rotations? The NBA has like an API feed, I believe, is where we pull it from. I'm pretty sure.
API feed. And then our good friend Josh Engleman, my favorite co-host on Live Before Lock, has an amazing analytics section of our site dedicated to NBA rotations.
Well, that's what he's asking. He's asking where we get the data from.
I was just letting him know. I was letting the other people know that aren't him, that I'm assuming that that's what he's asking is where we got them from. But I don't think a lot of people know. We need people to check out the analytics tab because there's some cool stuff that's showing up there. There might be some more cool stuff showing up there in the near future, but you go to the rotations and like just pull up Milwaukee from yesterday. Like, I think that that's like a cool thing. Now you could basically be like, hey, I want to research some of this on my own. I'm looking at the Sims. I'm looking at the data hub. I'm looking at the props tool. I want to look at all these things, but also Milwaukee's on a back-to-back. I want to inform myself what they did yesterday. How much can KPJ actually play? Oh, Jericho Sims, starting this game. Like, that was a surprise. Wonder how he's going to look today, but now it's Jang instead of Miles Turner who got randomly ruled out. There's so many cool things you can do with this, and it's only going to get better. This is the first iteration. So Josh did an amazing job with this. Popcorn machine, rip.
Also, if you guys want to know what could be coming next, go to the analytics tab. There's a great out coming soon. Might be able to tip you off on what other things are coming down the pipeline.
I'll tip you off.
Is this another what are you gonna do? Docking. Now that you know what that is.
Me.
Shane Daly wants to know, Sims better defender, better or worse for Chet? It makes no difference.
Chet is going to smash souls in 28 minutes. We've got him in for
whatever happened, whatever Chet's fantasy points are today. It's not going to be related to how often he's guarded by Jericho Sims.
That is correct. People get crazy about it. There's 3 defenders I really think about people being guarded by: Alex Caruso, Lou Dort. 2 of them are on the same team. So that's kind of ironic.
Yeah. And I mean, team defense matters more than anything.
Pace matters.
Also, this stupid Milwaukee team is so poorly constructed. They're going to be a train wreck. I would be stunned if they're not a train wreck.
Glenn Rivers.
Yeah. Matus Gerard's here.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. 4,300 and under point guard shooting guard. I have no Jared McCain anymore. He was my nuke. I don't have anymore.
It's Vince Williams for me.
Vince Williams for me too.
Oh, my guy.
Well, I can't. Now I don't need Jared McCain anymore. I needed Jared McCain to do what I was doing before. I don't need him anymore. And now he's going to make everything, and I'm going to actually cry a river.
Let's see what else we have for questions in Discord. We have here Young Metro Boomin asked us about FanDuel players. We did that. Hey, Mega Elite, what do we think about Cam Thomas? Seems like this starting lineup gives him a stronger chance of repeating a performance similar to yesterday. I would be stunned if he repeats a performance from yesterday just because he's, just not an efficient scorer. My one if he actually comes in the ownership we have him projected at, I think that he is a very good option. I think he's going to be much higher owned than we have him projected. He's going to be over owned today. That's my intuition.
So what I was talking about before, Cason Wallace, Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, have fun, Cam Thomas. It's a little bit different. I know Orlando, Jalen Suggs, been a decent defender at times in his life. I just really don't see a planet where I want to play Cam Thomas at this ownership that's coming.
Let's see what else we have. Einstein wants to know, any interest in Tyus Jones for today? Are you playing Tyus Jones?
Who?
Tyus Jones.
Let's go. No, 0%.
I'm running update right now with the most recent stuff. And my, here we go. Just finished running. Let's see, what do we have?
You should probably grab a towel and wipe off then.
Let's see. Boy, I got a lot more of Austin Reaves than I thought I was going to.
Me too. Him and KPJ are just getting jammed down my mouth hole like it's,
that's a little
college
much.
all over again.
That's a little much.
I ate a lot of burritos.
All right. I am uploading my lineups right now. So that is going to be updated here for me. All right. So I've got what, at least for now, is going to be the final version of my lineups uploaded, pending. I mean, we've already had so many weird things happen on this slate. Who the hell knows what else is going to happen post-lock, but at least for now, I've got everything updated to account for whatever weirdness has happened to this point. And let's see what else we had for questions in Discord. We've got DK801. Do we like Jalen Williams coming off the bench more than Kenrich Williams? Well, Kenrich Williams is not coming off the bench. Kenrich Williams is starting.
Literally starting, bruh. Bruh.
Let's see. So for me, I got so much less of Jalen Williams on my last run. I still have him in 15% of lineups, but he was my most rostered player when we opened the show.
I really don't think he plays a lot today. There's a part of me, if you're listening to this right now, the thing I'm probably going to do when we get off this stream is do anything I can to just bet unders, even that exist there. I think there's a chance he plays like 22 minutes tonight. Like we have him in for 22 minutes, but I'm saying like, I think that might be like a hard cap on him, like no right tail to it whatsoever, coming off of yesterday, where he played a lot of minutes for a guy who's been injured very, very recently.
Yeah. These are all true things. I'm also just kind of like scanning my ownership. How much of Ousmane Dieng did you end up with?
We're going to find out in 3, 2, 90%.
Oh, okay. I've got 60% for myself. Still a good amount.
Yeah.
Bunch of super chats just came in. So here we go. Shout out to by the way, Chris's YouTube handle changes every show now for some reason, but this is our friend from Apple, Chris Williams, gifting 5 YouTube memberships. Chris, thank you very much for supporting the channel. We appreciate it. Isaac Dietz wants to know, is Pete Nance in play? I have no Pete Nance lineups.
Yeah, I was being a little sarcastic. I have one Pete Nance lineup for what it's worth, though.
All right. The next question here is from Javier Rodriguez. Thoughts on Hayes, Vanderbilt, and Maxi Kleba? So, Eric, of the big men for the Lakers, are you getting to any of them for today? Let's see.
I'd rather slam my dick in a door on purpose than play any of those 3 idiots in 20 max. I wouldn't go that far, but I'm not. I would absolutely slam my dick in a door rather than play those 3. Look at the names. Just think to yourself, do I care? Do I not care? No, I would absolutely take the dick slamming over rostering those 2 or 3.
I don't know. That sounds painful. I have 2% of Jackson Hayes.
Yeah, you have 2% in your pants too, so it's fine.
I took 2% over. Those were the options. I could either play 2% of them or slam my dick in a door, and I took 2% of it.
Is my dick in a door?
$4,900 or less utility and favorite plays at each position. All right, $4,900 or less at utility. That'll be Brandon Williams for me. And then favorite plays at each position. Point guard, Austin Reaves. Shooting guard, that'll be Najee Marshall. Small forward for me, that is going to be where did it go? Boy, small forward is just dog shit. I guess small forward is not. I guess small forward is going to be.
Najee Marshall ended up in my lineups a lot, and I did not anticipate this. It is what it is.
Power forward LeBron and center Ousmane Dieng.
Facts. I'm going to cry when Jeremy McCain puts up a 30 ball, by the way.
Mastermind Magruder chain-bound lineup, $6,800 or less at utility. For $6,800 or less at utility, that is going to be
Nurk if he starts, Filipowski. It's the easiest swap out ever. If Nurk isn't starting, you just go to Filipowski.
All right. And now Chad Chandler, if Nurkic starts going in my lineups, I don't disagree with that at all. I think Nurkic is great if he's starting. Keep in mind, by the way, we're locking in a minute here. If we do not have Nurkic starting today, do not play him. He is going to play 0 minutes if he doesn't start.
Yep. Facts.
And as far as questions, nothing else in there. If you guys haven't done it yet, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Really quickly, we had so many updates over the course of the show. So let's get one bet to the people before we leave here, Eric. And this will be a funny way to close. The number one bet in the props tool tonight, Eric, it is Jared McCain for under 6.5 rebounds plus assists. By the way, 6.5 is a pretty high number for a guy who is not going to play a massive amount of minutes.
Well, I'm on over 4.5 points for Jericho Sims plus 110 on BetMGM. That's the only thing that I've had so far. So I'm happy that it's not him. But if somebody must die, I went from having Jared McCain being my nuke to having one lineup 1 out of my 20 has Jared McCain. So probably the worst Nuke run out ever, getting like min salary dudes up there and another sub 4K guy in Kenrich Williams. But such is life. Yobi Trice, no young names, no gimmicks. Go ahead.
This is how we're closing out the first half of the season. Per Yobi Trice, Egyptians didn't build the pyramids. They inherited them. It's true from the aliens. The aliens left them here as a gift. You ever seen the YouTube videos on those?
No.
There's you can find the dumbest conspiracy theories alive on YouTube, but like, yeah, they're like giant alien people. You heard it from Yobi Trice. Guys, thank you all very much for watching. If you have not done it, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Over the next few days, enjoy some time away from NBA DFS. Whatever your other hobbies end up being, we'll be back here next week. We'll see you then. Later, guys. Good luck.